Okay, I've done this cleanse a lot over the course of the last decade plus. And what keeps coming up for me this time, which is different from every other time because I feel like I experience this differently every time I do it. So perfection and the idea of following the rules that in some ways feel like ambiguous and arbitrary. So some of you have been asking questions about certain ingredients and why one thing is on the yes list, but in a different form it's on the no list. So soy, for example, processed soy products and non-fermented soy products, they're on the no list, okay? And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the majority of soy sold in the world is genetically modified. It's heavily sprayed, so it's highly toxic. And then it also is an estrogen mimicker, so it can increase estrogen loads and sort of deregulate because of the sheer volume of soy that's in processed foods. So the idea is to stay away from processed foods because pretty much if it's processed, it's likely going to have a version of soy in it. Fermented soy is a little bit different. So you're talking about ancient foods that have been in circulation among humans for a really long time. So the thought there is our bodies have adapted to be able to understand the information that comes from that food. Soy sauce, so in the form of tamari is wheat free, and miso. Those are great. I actually eat both of those probably daily on this cleanse because I put miso in bone broth and I boil that, and that's usually what I've been having for dinner. Okay, the other thing was as you know, yesterday kind of just sucked. And so I had really delicious salad dressing on hand that was all whole and really clean ingredients, and it had a minimal amount of maple syrup instead of coconut sugar. So coconut sugar is on the yes list, maple syrup's on the no list. The reason maple syrup is on the no list is because it's a massive glucose spike, or it causes that in you. And so you want to avoid those things generally speaking. However, this was the difference between me eating a beautiful, delicious salad and not. And I went with the already made salad dressing that I had prepared prior to going on this cleanse. These are the types of decisions that I want you to be able to decipher what makes sense for you and what is actually you making excuses to eat something that you know you shouldn't, right? Like if I was pouring a bunch of maple syrup over something, that's one thing. But the fact that this was minimal amounts, it was all whole ingredients, everything else, and it was clean, safe, and that I was not getting a blood sugar spike from the sheer volume. The other thing is, even though this is a short cleanse, we're looking at the long throw. Like, how is this cleanse going to serve you when we are done? What is it that you are learning here about yourself, about your eating patterns, about foods that serve you, foods that maybe you're addicted to? For me, it's coffee. And where do you sit with that? Is it serving you? Or is it serving you at the capacity that you were consuming it before this cleanse and then you realized in not consuming it at all, you feel a lot better? Or maybe consuming it less would be better, whatever it is for you. This is a time of exploration. And I'm just going to reiterate, it is not a time of perfection, it's exploration. And those two things are different. So those are my thoughts today. How was your day? My day was significantly better today than yesterday. The sun was shining. I got outside for a short while. And even though I still have a lot of the trauma from yesterday, generally speaking, today was a shift in a positive direction. So how are you today? How are things going? Post either your own post or in the comments.